We begin with Edo gubernatorial election. To forestall any breakdown of law and order and to avoid early detection, plainclothes policemen from the Criminal Investigation Department (CID), Special Investigation Bureau, and other plainclothes personnel have flooded Benin City, the state capital, ahead of Saturday's governorship election. Moving around parts of the city looks calm, but these plainclothes policemen are in several places and also visiting dark spots, bars, and lounges around the town. A member of the department from the state command told press on Wednesday said that they are moving around to ensure security for all at a free and credible exercise. They have been around for about 2 days now, but because more come to join them yesterday being Tuesday, that is why their presence has become more visible. In a similar vein, the Chief of Defense Staff General Christopher Musa visited troops in the state where he cautioned them to be neutral and ensure free, fair, and credible exercise. While addressing troops at the headquarters of the 4th Brigade of the Nigerian Army, General Musa said that they want to have the best election in Edo State, and they are ready. So they have been briefed on what parts they should or they are supposed to play. And they are working as a team, and they are all Nigerians there, that nobody is more Nigerian than the other person. With other security forces, that they are going to work together as a team, the police said, the civil defense, DSS, and all other ones. They said they all know the election has a lot of issues, that there are a lot of expectations, and they want this election to go without any rancor. They don't want any disturbance, and nobody should come and intimidate anybody on that election day, and that they must ensure that the election is free, fair, and credible. INEC is the one conducting the election. The Nigerian police are the lead agency in security, so they must provide that security. Well, that's coming from the Edo ahead of the 2024 Saturday's election coming 3 days ago. So I'd like to get your opinion on this. We've had police in Edo State, around Edo State, in what they call an operation to curb dark spots in Benin City ahead of the election coming on 3 days ago on Saturday. So
3 days coming.
3 days coming, I beg your pardon. So what would you make of this story?
Victor, it is laughable when we hear our security agencies in Nigeria overhype themselves. This is really unfortunate that a command of the police in Edo State will be dishing out this kind of information.
All right.
They are there on covert operations, especially the ones on plainclothes. They should not, there is no need whatsoever. It is not in the security ethics for the security agencies, anyone at all, to disclose their operational tactics. But what do we see in Nigeria here? This is just a media hype. But you will still see that what will happen in Edo election is going to happen. They are just overrating themselves. They're only making it sound as if they're on ground. You remember last week they told us they are deploying 35,000 policemen and other security agencies. I asked, are we going on war? But this will be a litmus test for the IGP of police, Ewetokun, and Christopher Musa, who is the Chief of Army Staff. This also will be a litmus test for the new DSS boss. This will be a litmus test for the new EFCC boss, because those that will come for vote buying, we will sit down here that day to analyze it. You will get the on the spot and on the field report of what is going on at the polling booths and units around Edo State. Again, Edo people are the people that are going to decide, like they rightly said. But my worries are this: the military, in other senate climes, when there is a lot of, when there is a natural disaster and emergency, the military help in arresting the situation. Our military men should be in Borno State. They should be in Maiduguri. They should have mobilized themselves now to look out for where the floods are coming, where the government need to evacuate people as Cameroon is going to open their dam very soon. So for me to deploy soldiers during election is really out of the democratic norms and tenets. For a whole chief of army staff to come and make bold statement and read the riot act in Edo State election. One state is not a federal election, but he has an army officer commanding in whichever division that is overseeing Edo State. He should have made his statement through the person, and the people that should be talking is the Nigerian police, Edo State Command, the commissioner of police Edo State, or the DIG, or maybe an AIG that is saddled with the responsibility of, taking charge. As far as this election is concerned, we know they normally deploy maybe 3 to 4 DIGs or AIGs to go and help the sitting commissioner. These are the people that should be talking, because they are on an official assignment to make sure that Edo State election is seamless. But for a chief of army staff in a country that is being ravaged by banditry, by herdsmen, all form of criminality, kidnapping, and all whatnot, his concern is just Edo State election. I mean, this is not the democracy we clamor for. This is not the democracy we see in other Senate climes. The police is the primary agency to oversee an election. The military have their estacade, assignment cut out for them. So for me, it is a slap and the belittling on the part of the Nigerian army to be going to Edo State and making such a statement. And now, if you are now releasing the information of how you're going to do your covert operations, the criminals and the politicians, they know how to beat you to your game. But if those plain policemen have been there to gather information, you don't need to let them. When I was growing up, we hear that there was SSS. Even some of us in primary school that time, we say we'll be SSS because they are only on plain clothes. They can mix up with people and gather information, and you will not know. They will now give the information to the uniformed men. You will just come and see an arrest or an action will be taken. You'll be asking yourself, how did this secret or a crime that has been committed, how they were able to bust that particular crime. But now, another mistake they are making is to jettison or remove totally the involvement of those local vigilante groups in Edo State. This is the mistake they always make. When the police want to prevent crime, or when they are overwhelmed, let me use that language, overwhelmed by a situation in a given locality, they will now want in synergy and form what we see in Northwest and the Northeast, what they call the JTF. They now do a joint operation. Why not use those boys that you will even know that the state apparatus, the state government on their part, might use them to perpetuate their own election fraud, so to say. Allegedly now. But for the police to know those people that know all the hinterlands, all the creeks, because Edo State is one of the south states, so they are not devoid of all those slums and all the hideouts. But who are those people that know the place? Those that have been working in synergy with the police, who are the local vigilantes, who even know those that the government will use in perpetuating those electoral fraud. And again, you find out that they are concentrated in the city areas, while where elections are rigged in Nigeria and in the hinterlands. You cannot say an average Edo man that is staying in the cities do not know what he wants in the present Nigeria. You not be able, it is only maybe about 2% or 3% of people living within the city that already know, are politically aware, and they have the political education. Even if nobody now is politically educated, the hunger in the country, the situation of the country will dissect you to fall in place.
So, Mr. Ogochukwu,
so you will now know where you want to vote.
Okay.
My suggestion is this: let them go into the hinterlands where people are easily swayed through vote buying.
Okay.
And use the local vigilantes to track down and prevent those who will have such mindset.
Well, from their statement, they say they don't need anybody with firearms, no vigilantes, except those who are authorized to do so, which are the police. And that is why they have deployed these police in order to curb this, because they don't want, like you rightly mentioned, the election fraud to happen. So they don't want this to happen, and that's why they've deployed these police officers all corners to make sure that this doesn't happen. So are you saying you don't see this as an effective way to curb this election fraud come this election?
I don't believe that at this critical moment, when you know that this electoral fraud are perpetuated in the hinterlands, that's where vote buying is done. And they know it. Forget about all this riot act, all those things that are telling us here. They know where electoral violence and the vote buying takes place. And who are those to help in giving them the information? They have already made a statement, even last week, that they don't need the services of the vigilante groups and those people who could help them in identifying those local politicians, that the traditional Nigerian politicians, because all those politicians you see that come and make statements during election, during campaigns, and all the people who go about paying people to buy their votes, they have their foot soldiers. And who are those people that will help you in identifying them? Are those local vigilantes that will tell you the hotspots. But when you have now, discarded their services, what do you want them to go? They would have made a statement that maybe those people, they normally carry firearms, that during this election, that they will be demobilized.
Okay.
But they are critically and they clearly stated that those guys will not be involved. We are in River State here. You see what OSPAC is doing. They are busting crimes. But the governor, let me bring it to River State now. The governor bought about 100 vehicles for the Nigerian police, who is under the federal purview. I think we discussed it last time. But refused to look at those guys that are doing the job. Those guys that even you and I know that in Nigeria today, the criminals don't even fear the police. Well, they fear those boys that know their modus operandi. Those who were hitherto part of them before, and they have dropped their criminal acts and embraced the society and the societal norms. And they are the people that are helping in making us have a relative peace in River State. I can tell you that for free.
That's the OSPAC now. The
OSPAC and the other sister local security agencies that we see around are the people who are. You saw the other day they recovered a baby thrown at the Dosbil. Immediately they get any information, they move quickly to go, and if it's the Nigerian police, they'll be asking you, there is no fuel, there is no this and that. But in Edo State, where they are needed today to help the Nigerian police, because whether it's the military, the Navy, DSS, whatever you call them, they are under the command of the Commissioner of Police, or whom the IGP has authorized to oversee this election, coming from the police sector. Other people are working in line with their instructions. The military is only to be called in when they are overwhelmed. So why not them do that in synergy with those local vigilante boys? That's the $1 million question to ask the Nigerian police and the Nigerian army as it concerns the September 21st Edo State elections.